Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is the Ramble, and I'm Alex Bennett. We go until midnight tonight. From New York, New York. The city's so nice they named it twice, yes, and all that kind of crap. Okay, hello, how are you? Oh boy, it's warm in here. It's not really hot in New York. It's only 70 degrees. But anyway, and whatever. Well, let me see here. What do we got here? Oh yeah. All right. Okay. We got to go to. We got to do this. This we do every now and then when we don't have anything else to put on. This is Phil Meyer, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Philip.
Hey, it's greetings from the Bay Area of San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, you're not in San Francisco. That's just the background you're using.
No, I'm in the Bay Area of San Francisco.
Oh, of San Francisco. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, hello there, Phil. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I heard there was smoke again in New York today.
No, I didn't. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm having a little hard time breathing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but it might be because I think the Canadian wildfires are still going on.
Yeah, and I understand that it's also affecting Chicago, so it's widespread. It may have dissipated from the orange skies that you had, but I think it's probably.
Well, we didn't have the orange skies today, but if you're saying that we are supposed to have some kind of smoke here, then maybe that's why I've been coughing a little bit and feeling, a little short of breath.
At least you know.
Yeah, well, I'm affected by those things because when I was a kid, I had asthma. So, but nobody wants to hear what I had when I was a kid.
Everybody will.
Everybody will. I'll give you a complete deal on it, right? What's that shirt you're wearing?
This was...
Oh, jeez. No, hide it, please. Let me avert my eyes, please. Please.
Oh, I figured it would be a good shirt for tonight.
Yeah, it really? Why would it be a good shirt for tonight?
Well, Tony says that they're going to come after you, Phil.
What is he making trouble again?
Of course,
huh?
He's a disturber.
He really is. I mean, why are we coming after you again? What are we coming after you for?
I like Trump. And
I have no idea why. I have no idea. Well, at this point, I would think you would be on to somebody else.
There is no one else.
What do you mean? You got.
Have you looked at the polling numbers? Have you seen the media and the way that Trump
I've seen the polling numbers. They haven't changed. In fact, Trump is down a little bit.
Yeah, but he's still up around 53%.
No. It's in the low 40s.
So it's cold out.
And DeSantis is about 20 points behind him.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, that's a long way. But what's happening?
But you're misrepresenting what the facts are, and that is that his numbers have actually gone down rather than gone up.
When have facts mattered?
Well, you watch Fox. Of course you don't care about facts.
Well, all I know is that Trump has commanded the news cycle, very similar to what he did in 2016.
No, what he does, to begin with, I'd like to think he's a great master manipulator of the media, but the fact is the media allows him to manipulate them, okay? Because if they just shut up about him and only report on him when he does something newsworthy, then they wouldn't be adding to the problem. But they're the problem as well.
Oh, absolutely. But
but he's only dominating it because, I mean, what a way to dominate it. He got indicted. That's a way to dominate it.
You make. I know being indicted is no fun, and you got to be able to afford to defend yourself. But when you're indicted, you're accused, and the only people that have really put up an argument is the government and Smith. Trump has not had an opportunity to defend himself.
Oh yes, he has. Haven't you seen? Didn't you see him? No, not under oath, but he seems to be making his case every time he talks. Oh, these are people lying about blah 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 blah, and they're doing this and that. He shouldn't even be talking about the case. He should just say, "I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to go to court and I'm going to make my case." Okay. But no, he gets up and he calls everybody an idiot, a moron, and out to get him, and
Well, that's what he should do, but you're innocent until
I think Albert put it best. Donald Trump is America's victim.
Well, so are everybody else in America is a victim.
What do you mean? What are you saying? Are you just talking? I didn't hear any wind, but it sounds like you're talking out your ass.
No, think about this. The gays are victims. The transgenders are victims.
No.
Homeless are victims.
Stop.
The drug addicts are victims.
What you always do is you always sidetrack from the main topic.
Well, that is the main topic. What you said is.
What do you mean? What is the difference? What is similar about gays having problems in this country and Trump being indicted? Come on.
It's the word victim.
Come on.
Everybody is a victim now. Nobody just stands up.
Not everybody is a victim, but he's weeing that he's a victim.
All right. Well, it works for the Democrats. Why not for him?
What do you mean? What Democrat has called themselves a victim?
Who? You got the LG.
No. I said Democrats. You said Democrats. Tell me a Democrat.
These people usually identify with.
Tell me Phil, you're not going to squirm out of this. You said a Democrat.
Yeah.
The Democrats call themselves
Democrats.
You weren't saying gays. You weren't saying blacks. You weren't saying Hispanics. You weren't saying.
Okay. Of course, I did. Actually, I said homeless.
They're all victims. Victims of America, a country that traditionally has been racist, anti-Semitic, and everything else.
Yeah. Well, I can't trust the media anymore because the media is saying that Donald Trump has got anti-Mexican, anti-Jewish emails and things like that.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it was on Drudge tonight.
Oh, it's on Drudge tonight. That's where you get all your news from. Okay.
Well, it's where I get I get directed to the news and then I read the article.
Oh, I see.
And I think that one was a Rolling Stone article. So anyway, I'm sure we'll be getting into Trump a little later. I wanted to mention the Dick Bright, Bobby Slayton thing on Sunday.
Why?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, but nobody knows who we're talking about.
Well, they were very important people to you in your career.
I don't care.
Well, then maybe that's why.
No, I'm just saying that we got an audience out there who doesn't know when I say Bobby Slayton and I say, especially if I say Dick Bright, they don't know who I'm talking about.
Well, Bud E. Love, I guess, performed a number of times or on a regular basis with Dick Bright. I guess they're very close. And Robert Vickers is a friend of yours, Bud E. Love. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he couldn't be there Sunday. He actually had a paid gig in Santa Cruz. And so he was supposed to be there, and I was looking forward to meeting him in person. But I want to say, and Bobby Slayton, I think that all of the 32 listeners that listened to this...
I already got a report on this from Bubbles.
He wasn't there. He was there. He performed with Bobby Slayton on Tuesday.
Well, that's where he was, yeah.
Right, on Tuesday. But on Sunday... This crowd.
Nobody cares about this, Phil.
No, okay.
Nobody really cares. I mean, I love these people, right?
Yeah.
And Bobby Slayton's one of my best friends of all time, so Dick Bright has always been a good associate of mine. But Most of the people out there don't know who we're talking about.
All right. Well, they know Bobby Slayton.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Oh,
I would say the average person right now does not know who Bobby Slayton is because the younger audiences don't pay attention to him.
well, the younger audiences don't listen to you, and our listeners are not average. So,
The only people that would know what you're talking about are people who used to listen to me. But if I ask Jeff when he comes on here, "Do you ever hear of Bobby Slayton?" He'll go, "No."
you should ask him.
If I ask Tony, "Have you ever heard of Bobby Slayton?" he will say, "No."
All right. Well, the reason I mention it is that he talked about comedians and not being able to do stand-up, and he went after every single group, whether it was the Chinese, the blacks, the gays, the lesbians. It didn't matter. He left no stone unturned when it came to insulting.
See, now you're telling everybody what was on this show. Nobody cares.
You'll see if anybody cares.
Nobody cares.
All right. So what do you care about?
Nothing.
Okay, that's obvious. That's obvious. Well, then you'll care about this.
Yeah.
I got my PRP shot today.
What's a PRP shot?
It's for the ED.
What's ED? Oh yeah, erectile dysfunction.
Erectile dysfunction.
Oh, you have erectile dysfunction?
Oh, you better believe it. From I had a prostatectomy. I had cancer. I have diabetes, and all of these things contribute to ED as well as the drugs that they give you to keep you alive.
Well, that and the fact nobody wants to have sex with you, but that's the other problem.
Yeah, well,
but that pill.
I do have somebody in the next room, unlike most of your listeners.
Well, I have somebody in the next room too.
Right, but she doesn't let you in it. Anyway, we were talking about.
What is this? What is this? What is it? Is it a pill? Is it a shot? Is it a?
It's worse than a shot. What they do is.
Oh God! Don't tell me! Don't tell me! Is this gonna hurt?
It surprisingly not that much, but it probably hurts to think about it.
What's it called? PCP or PRP?
No, PRP.
PRP.
So what they do is they take your blood. Mm-hmm. And they put it in sort of a centrifuge that separates platelets.
Oh, what quack are you going to?
Dr. Vinnie Von Betz.
Well, yeah, but really, I know what you're going to tell me. They then put the blood in, they circulate it around, and then they, shall we say, inject it into your penis?
On two sides.
On two sides.
So, yeah, in the veins that run down.
Where did you hear about this?
It was in the Gabnet store. I even had a 10%
where did you hear about this?
Well, I've heard about PRP. They use it for knees. They use it for people that have other kinds of injuries.
So you let them inject your penis with your own blood?
Yeah, it's better than your blood. Hey, what do I got to lose?
Maybe your whole penis will fall off.
That would be that would
probably be a blessing to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't be able to call me a prick anymore. But so anyway, what happens is it's supposed to this is supposed to generate more blood vessels that carry the blood into the penis and help give you
that is so unscientific, it's ridiculous.
Actually, you should look up this PRP. They also call it the P shot, and it's supposed to.
Where did you hear about this? I mean, what site do you go to?
Well, I had heard about.
Oh, by the way, how much did this cost you?
Well, it's part of the total $7,000 that I paid them.
Oh, really? For what?
For 18 Gainswave therapy sessions and 3 PRP sessions.
Oh, okay. Is it working yet?
Not really.
See?
But
And
you know,
wait a
it
minute,
comes
and let
with
me ask you. Here's. We'll tell you whether this is a quack or not. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it covered by insurance?
no, but it
Okay.
comes.
Well, that answers the question
Wait,
right
it
there.
comes with a free bottle of Extends, and that was the product that your buddy who's in jail, the porno guy, what's his name? Rotten.
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy. He used to advertise Extends, which was basically a vitamin.
Did you try? Did you try that?
No.
No. Okay. Are you going to try it now that you have a free bottle of Extends?
No, I didn't get a free bottle of Extends.
No, you paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the mail. So anyway, you know, it's very common for people that have had a prostatectomy or because the nerves are damaged when they cut the urethra and they remove the prostate. And then I went through 7 weeks of radiation when the cancer came back, and I'm sure that screwed me up too. You know, because they didn't have a prostate to focus on, so they focused on the area and with the radiation.
Yeah.
So I figured, hey, I'm not getting any younger. This is a fairly new therapy, and I'd give it a shot.
Well, I mean, I will have to admit that after what I had with my prostate, they didn't remove mine, but they smashed it flat like a pancake, and they, you know, with the seeds and the whole thing, pretty much I have the same effect on my penis as you do on yours. Although I can get it erect if I have to. Okay,
Yeah.
I still can do that, but the fact is that. You know, I mean, the way I looked at it, of course, at 83, is I had, you know, how many years of good use out of that. And, you know, if it doesn't work as well as it used to now, so be it, you know?
Yeah, well, I understand. I had a pretty good run myself, and
Yeah.
that's why I decided to go with the prostatectomy. But, you know, there's always regrets. You know, when you don't have what you had, there's a way to get some of it back. And I don't know that this. I'm sure this is not going to give me performance like when I was 40, but it will certainly.
Have you tried anything like any of the you know, the boner enhancement
Viagra?
pills, Viagra, things like that?
Yeah, they gave me Viagra after the prostatectomy, and it didn't work anymore. It used to work great
Yeah.
prior to the prostatectomy, but it didn't work anymore. So, and there's a point where your arteries are clogged with plaque in the penis, and that plaque.
Who told you that?
It's common knowledge.
No, it's not common knowledge. I never heard it.
Well, as you get older, you get plaque that because these little arteries.
My boy, until my prostate seed implantation, was working just fine.
You didn't have diabetes.
Oh well, you know, just because you wanted to complicate it with eating way too many candy bars.
And that's probably what did it. But you know, diabetes takes its toll. One of the reasons people have a lot of heart issues, blockages, is cholesterol. But that cholesterol is exacerbated, and these blockages are exacerbated by diabetes. So you know, with high cholesterol and all the other wonderful things I had, I decided to try this. Hey, if it works, I'm ahead. If it doesn't work, at least I tried.
Yeah, $7,000 worth for a phony cure.
Well, I don't know that it's phony. You know, I went online.
You should have gone to a urologist. You should have said to this to a good urologist. You know, I'm sure you had one. Go to them and say, listen, this thing is being offered. Does it make any sense to you? And if they say no, then I wouldn't do it.
Well, the problem is that Kaiser kind of totes the company line.
No, it isn't a matter of Kaiser. Then go find another urologist. But ask any respected urologist, and they'll probably. I'll ask my guy the next time I see him, which isn't until January. So,
well,
you know.
I paid up front for the maximum discount. So, this would have been 9-10 grand if I.
Do they have a money back guarantee?
No.
Well,
But
there you go. There you go, my friend.
there is some improvement.
Well,
but
I wish I've got to come up with some kind of cure for you so I can get that money.
Yeah, it's in the mail.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the things. So I'm halfway through this Gaines wave therapy.
And halfway, and nothing's happened so far.
Well, it's a little bit.
What's a little bit? There's either enough or not enough.
It's not enough yet. In other words,
if you had to use it,
would
it like be putting a marshmallow in a Coke bottle?
Not that hard.
Oh, I see.
It's more like whipped cream.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad. You're such a sucker.
Well, what are you going to do? The last topic that I thought we could talk about,
yes,
because San Francisco, this is your hometown. Half of the stores on Union Square have closed. Nordstrom has left. That whole Westfield shopping center where Nordstrom was on Market Street, they're a flagship store. The whole place is shutting down, and they're giving it back to the lender.
There's this mall. There's this mall.
It's a mall. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that used to be the Emporium?
I think so. It was the Westfield Mall now.
Yeah, but then didn't it become? Wasn't it the Emporium?
I think it was the Emporium
because
before.
They showed the building on TV the other day, and I said, "Oh, that's the Emporium, the old Emporium."
Well, it's got that beautiful rotunda which the Emporium had, and with that glass rotunda, it was just gorgeous.
Well, there was a glass rotunda in the city of Paris, but that wasn't at that location.
And that became J. Magnum, and then it didn't. Neiman Marcus.
No, it became Neiman Marcus. It didn't become J. Magnum.
No, I Magnum was across the street.
Yeah, and there was a J. Magnum too.
Right.
But J. Magnum wasn't there. No.
Oh, it was what, next door to that?
It went from being the city of Paris, which, God, that company was there since the mid 1800s.
Right.
Okay. And then it went out of business, and Neiman Marcus took over the spot, which it's a beautiful building. It's just an incredible building.
Yeah. That whole area.
I've heard about what's happened in San Francisco, and it really it grieves me. It really grieves me, because that's the city I grew up in, and all these iconic places that were there, are no longer there. And I hear that Market Street is a shambles, and I hear Van Ness Avenue is a shambles. And we were talking last night to what's his name in the Tenderloin.
Oh, was he back?
Yeah. And
John somebody?
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. John
Larkin. He's named. They named the street after him in the Tenderloin.
Right, and a toilet. John Larkin. Yeah. That's the best way to remember him. So he's just said it's terrible now. He lives in the Tenderloin, which was never any great shakes to begin with.
Right.
But he says it's just it's horrible.
Yeah. Well, look, there was a Whole Foods. Everybody knows what Whole Foods is. And they opened up a big one in San Francisco, and they closed it within, I think, 10 months. What had happened was that there were over 535 calls for police services in that 10-month period, and most of them went unanswered. Because and people were just going in, they're taking stuff right and left. The other stores like CVS and Walgreens have to lock everything up behind glass.
Well, here in New York, they had to do the same thing at Rite Aid up the street.
You can't get help in any of these stores. How are you going to get anything from behind?
Yeah, there's nobody there to open the thing, so how are they selling anything? Yeah,
exactly. So that's why a lot of these stores are closing up, and they're certainly fleeing San Francisco in droves. How can the restaurants survive? Because people aren't going back to their offices. Why would you want to go back to an office where, if you went down into the street, people are shooting up? You got to walk past and through poop. it's I understand that the elevators in the Nordstrom Westfield Mall shopping center are just totally full of poop, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, what you've got to do, okay, you're not going to like my answer, but you've got to do something to help the homeless. I mean, I know that that doesn't sound like a good idea to you, but you've got to do something to alleviate their problems. And
Well,
I know that, and it could cost the city a lot of money, but that's the first thing you've got to do. This is not a matter of criminality or anything else. It's a matter that they've all come to San Francisco to begin with because fentanyl's cheaper in San Francisco than it is anywhere else in the country.
well, let me say this: the problem is that there's so much corruption in the production of homeless services that so many people have their hands in the kitty jar. Powerful people that keep our politicians in the Bay Area, they can throw their support to those politicians. Those politicians don't want to lose their job. I say take the homeless subsidies and the homeless monies away from government, put it into more of a private concern, whether it's churches or there's just, you got to take the politics out of homelessness because there are too many lobbies that are too powerful, and they're taking the mainstay of the money. The program that I work with, Tunnel to Towers, the Stephen Siller Foundation, 95% of all the money that goes to them is used for building houses and gifting them to the veterans. Less than 5% is for overhead. If you look at all of these others, whether it's a homeless concern or the Red Cross or something like that, there's maybe
there are a lot of you can check to see if you're going to give money to an organization. You can check and see what percentage of the money that you give goes to administration and what percentage of it goes to the actual alleviation of the problem. And if you find that it's somewhere like 10-15%, okay, that's reasonable. All right? But
for overhead.
Yeah, for overhead. But if you find that it's upwards like 35-40%, then don't give them any money.
Yeah, because it's just a con. Kind of like
it's not a con. It's just that they're not, if at the very least they're not managing the money well.
Okay. Well, and the thing with the homeless is I don't have the exact numbers because I'd mentioned what I had heard in the past, and people had said, oh no, it's this, not that. But as far as I know, let's say there's 30,000 homeless people in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I believe that the budget in San Francisco for helping the homeless is $1.2 billion. And if you look at 30,000 people divided by $1.2 billion, that's a lot of money. And that money and the help that they need, whether it's mental health, housing, is not going to those people. It's going to these programs that are taking the money and paying their own salaries.
Well, but all I'm saying is that the problem in San Francisco is you've got homeless people and they have nowhere to go, and that's the problem. Okay, plain and simple. I don't have to tell you what it is. The stealing and the theft that goes around is because they're trying to get money for drugs. So I mean, it's just one vicious cycle. But it grieves me, breaks my heart to see it happening in San Francisco, which is in case people are not aware, is my hometown.
Well, when the small hotels, especially during COVID, the smaller hotels in San Francisco opened their rooms up to homeless, to get them off the street during the times of COVID. The homeless, in many cases, destroyed those rooms, destroyed those hotels. I don't know that you can have that you could house people that have these kinds of addictions and these kinds of problems, and not and have them succeed and not destroy the properties that we pay for and give them.
Well, I brought on our people here.
Good. I'd like to have a survey, please. Raise your hands. Who's ever heard of Bobby Slayton?
But Alex, the homeless, they don't want to go anywhere.
Brian, you know who Bobby Slayton is?
Yeah.
Put your hand.
Yeah, but those are all San Francisco people.
Look at Jeff. Jeff is not a San Francisco person.
Jeff only...
I've heard of it. Look, I've heard of it.
And you got two holdouts in the corner.
The reason some people have heard of him here is because I have interviews with him on many an occasion.
That's
so
it.
I mentioned him.
Although not anymore, because he says he's not doing interviews anymore.
Well, I don't know.
So, well,
I don't think I've ever seen him do a show.
I just call him and I say hi, all the time. So,
Well, I think Phil, any sham medicine that comes along, Phil is for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why he makes such good money. So the next sham medicine, they got one where you stick your penis in this thing and it stretches it every day.
I got one of those too. It came with the $7,000.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a pump. What do you got there? Oh,
it came good.
Yeah.
Oh, did you send him a bear?
And you know why it wasn't downstairs?
No, why?
When I finally got it, the address label had been kind of worn down, so it didn't have the address on there. So I probably had to go back to Amazon and have them read the barcode. But
I think.
Well, they told me today that they re-delivered it, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, they probably looked at the...
They told me to go downstairs and look for it, and I said, well, it's in New York, and I'm in California, so...
Yeah.
I know what happened to it. He ripped it Alex went downstairs and ripped it out of the hands of some homeless child that was camped out in front of his building.
It says get well.
Yeah.
What was this for? My night
that I took... The last time you were sick, you said that I don't send you... Tony said I sent him a bear, and he got all teary-eyed, and you said, when I'm sick, you don't send me a bear, so I said, I'll send you a bear.
Well, I thought, Marjorie, I wondered what this was on the top of its head, and Marjorie said, what is it? And my only answer was a yarmulke.
Yeah,
that's it. It's ice for a headache or whatever.
It's an ice bag, yeah.
All right, at least you got it. That's good to know.
Oh, here's John Demonetizer Larkin. That's what he calls himself now. Anyway, thank you so much. That's very sweet of you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, what happened to John Larkin? You were gone.
Well, John Larkin died a few years ago, and this is a guy we've hired to play John Larkin. Hello, John.
It's me, in the flesh.
In the flesh.
And Tony too. Wow.
Now you see,
straight from the tenderloin.
You can say whatever you want about San Francisco, Phil, but you don't know crap because you're not there. Larkin,
I know crap, and I try to avoid stepping.
Larkin is in the middle of it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. He's got a point though. That there are a lot of these organizations that are taking money to help the homeless, and they're not doing a good job. I'll just say that.
Now Glide Church is around the corner from you.
Yeah.
How are they at actually helping? I think they feed a lot of people.
They do, yeah. They do a good job. They've been doing it for years too.
Yeah.
You should give some money to them, Phil.
Maybe send them $7,000, and then they can try and get a hard on.
I got to work hard for the money.
I can't believe what you waste.
That's a lot of money.
He wastes his money on stuff.
I give money every year to Glide, Phil. You should give them some money. It'd be better served giving it to Donald Trump.
What you do is you buy Astroglide. But, hey, John, you and I had a bet on Trump and either arrest or in jail or something. Do you remember the actual bet?
Yeah, I do.
But what is it?
It was either Trump gets elected. If he gets elected president again, you win. If he goes to jail, I win.
Oh, he has to go to jail.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think
I knew
the
we had
chance
a
of
bet,
either one of those things.
and if I owed, I was going to pay up. But
Yeah, you're getting close.
but on the other hand,
So is Trump getting close too, John. So
Yeah, I know.
save America again. He didn't do it right the first time. Is that what he's saying?
Tony gave me this.
What's it?
The Trump shirt.
Interesting.
Did
Little,
I?
It's on sale for $1.
I didn't send you that, did
Yeah,
I?
you did.
I forgot. Oh, that was a while ago. Okay.
yeah, interesting little fact that, and I mentioned this last night,
He doesn't send me anything.
that
Send you some. I will.
Donald
Yes,
Trump,
I'm
while
sure.
he was in office,
Yeah.
signed a executive order imposing a 5-year jail sentence on anyone who compromises classified documents in the government.
Nobody can prove that Trump showed those documents or compromised.
Oh no, they
them.
can prove it. They've got audio of him.
I heard tonight.
Let me ask you a simple question, Phil.
Bartolomeo.
I'm
On the money
going to
raising.
ask you a simple question, and
Yeah.
depending on your answers, whether I'm going to tell you to shut up or not. That is, have you read the indictment?
I sent it to him.
Oh, well, I have. Every word of it.
Phil, I sent you an email of it. When it
Yeah,
came-
I didn't read it.
You didn't read it. So you don't know what's in that indictment, so how can you even talk about it?
I know that there were 37 documents that
No,
they're
that's
claiming
thir-
was
30
top secret.
No, it wasn't 30. See, that's because you didn't
It
read
was 37 charges.
30. There are 37 charges, yes, and they're not all for documents.
I love it how he got it wrong again.
How many
what are
here?
they
Has
for?
anybody else here read?
I went over a little bit. I sent it to him on Friday when the news broke, Phil, that I said, oh, it's breaking, that they send it out on Friday, Alex, because they wanted to get ahead of it over the weekend to make it transparent. So they didn't have to
Tony,
be confused
Tony,
there.
you're better off reading it to him.
I read the face page. I saw that
I sent it to him. You
his,
know, you can believe it.
his assistant was also named.
He's co-conspirator.
You read
It's
the
like a
face
New York
page.
taxi driver.
You read the face page, Phil.
Right.
What?
Well,
you
some of
read?
it.
You read the face page. Oh.
He read the face page about the homeless in San Francisco too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's. I think that if you want to find out about it, you want to be able to talk about it, then you should read it.
Well, it's a one-sided document.
It's not a
strictly the
one-sided
government's-
document, Phil. If you read
Yes,
it, you
it's
would
the-
know what I'm talking about.
It's the government's charges.
No,
Trump is
no,
simply
no.
given
It's
an
more than
opportunity.
that. It's more than
Trump-
that. It's more than that, Phil. But you don't know because you haven't read it.
Trump has not been given an
Am I right?
opportunity
Hold on a
to defend
second.
himself in
Kevin
court.
said he read it, right? Kevin?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. What were you going to say, Brian?
Okay, you're going to beat Kevin up the way you beat me up?
One-sided document. It's supposed to be.
What?
It's
Say again.
supposed to be a one-sided
indictment.
document. It's an indictment.
That's right. That's right. That's what I'm saying.
So,
A one-sided document.
well, yeah, that's what it is.
And
Right.
and
What else do you want?
prosecution-
I
yeah, the
want
prosecution.
Trump to be able to defend himself. Brian's got
Well, that's the other side of the document, but I don't know what he's got to come up with some good shit to go against the other document.
He's got a
I-
crooked judge too. The judge could throw the whole thing out.
Yeah, who was the governor? Huckabee. Huckabee and Bartolomeo. I watched a discussion between them, and Huckabee seems to feel that Trump is got a defense. And
Sure.
That's Huckabee. Huckabee's a douchebag.
He's
Huckabee
not a
was a
lawyer.
governor.
So
He's not a
what?
lawyer.
So what? So was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, but Huckabee's a pretty smart guy, and what he said is the Presidential Records Act allowed Trump to take those.
No,
those
but
things.
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Phil, no, it doesn't.
But
No,
you know,
it doesn't. That presidential act has nothing to do with it.
Yes, but after he had them in his possession, he had them in his possession when he was president, and if he
He
still
didn't
had,
have them in his possession. He had them in the White House,
well, how did it wind
where
up
they
in
were
Mar-a-Lago?
because he took them. Because he
Correct.
stole them.
He was he was
stole
president
them.
when he took them.
No, he wasn't president when he took them, because when he left, he took stuff with him after he was no longer president.
Well, when they
Phil,
took
you
stuff out
read
of
the
White House,
read the
he was still
indictment
president.
because it covers stuff like that.
Well, look,
Read the indictment and then come back to me and we can discuss it.
All right. What happens is, though, when you take stuff out of the White House while you're still president, if that stuff is supposed to be returned to the National Archive, anything that is what do they call it, classified, gets returned to the National Archive. Trump says that he was negotiating.
Phil, he wasn't negotiating anything. The National Archives asked for that material. He did not turn it over to them. They then, I think, asked him again, and they didn't. So then they went to the government, and the government just simply went in and got the stuff.
Well, that's not the way you negotiate.
No, that was you negotiate when you say you're going to. What can we do to get this back to you? What's to negotiate?
You're exactly
It's
right,
not
Phil.
your.
That's not how you negotiate.
How do you negotiate it? It's
Exactly
not
right.
yours, Phil. It belongs to the
told
American
to.
public. It belongs to the United States of America.
He
You can't
felt that
negotiate
stuff
something
was
that's
his.
not
Wait a minute,
yours.
Brian.
Yeah.
We already established last night that the idiots that like Trump don't read that document because they don't want to know what it says. So let's go to the next discussion.
Yeah, that's a good way of
We already talked about that last night. We said the Trump people don't want to know the truth. They don't want to know what's in that document, so they won't read it.
Well,
And that's what you're saying, Phil. You're saying you're not going to read that document.
I didn't say I wasn't going to.
You're
I
saying
said I hadn't.
So you say you have not read that document. It's the hottest thing going on right now, the most important, and you're not reading it because you don't want to know the truth that's in there.
That's not true. Father Bennett just said, read the document. So when Father Bennett says read it, I'll read it.
Oh, he's waiting for. You want to get the audio tape, probably.
Well,
right?
didn't you say, Tony, that you sent it to him?
Friday when it was breaking, Alex, I sent it to him. I said, Phil, this thing is breaking because they don't. What it was is it's. I was saying I was reading that the AP people wanted to say get it out there. The government wanted to get it out there, so it didn't look like Tuesday when they were going to indict him. They want to make it transparent, so he couldn't get ahead saying. So they wanted this open to the public, so everybody can see this is what we have against. Well, this is what we're showing. What we have. Because I never told Phil.
He could have. The point is, he could have totally avoided this and avoided.
Yes, I told that to Phil. Alex.
He could totally have avoided it, and he didn't. Yes, Alan.
So Trump is sucking all the oxygen out of the room. All these other candidates, including him, want to win the election and get Biden out of office. Do you notice that none of them, including Trump, are talking about how they're going to remove Biden and what's wrong with Biden and all that? Everybody is listening to Trump suck all the oxygen out of the room. He is like Albert said, he's the great American victim.
Well, they're all victims. That's what.
Who's they, Phil?
Yeah, who's they?
Is every,
all the Republicans?
Every group. You don't. What do? You put a towel over your head in the morning when you get up? You know, every group out there is claiming victimhood. Every, whether it's gay or black or Jewish or the French or the Canadians.
Come on, Phil, there's a difference between what gays and blacks and all those are going through. Don't say that it's the same thing that Trump is talking
And don't put
about.
him in the same category.
Oh my God,
So what I said was Trump
He
is
he is a maker of his own fate. Okay.
Do you believe that, Phil? Do you believe that he could have avoided all this?
He had a lawyer.
Yes.
He had a lawyer say to him, and this is on the record. He had a lawyer say to him, "I can go to the government right now, and they'll probably be willing to make a deal on this thing because I think they don't want to go to court and you don't want to go to court."
Yeah.
And he said, "I can go and talk to them." And Trump said, "No, don't do it.
Because he'll never admit that he's wrong.
Phil,
Don't do it." So when you say that, he was willing to negotiate, no, he wasn't.
He
Phil,
And this, by the way, is from the lawyer. Let me just mention this. This is from the lawyer who took notes on all these things so that he could protect his ass if anybody came after him.
Who was that? Michael Cohen?
No, it wasn't Michael Cohen. It was his head lawyer. The number one lawyer he had, the one that just
Brian's
quit.
trying to get a...
So Phil, if you admit that he could have avoided all this, why didn't he?
Because, who would have imagined the DOJ would raid his house at 6 in the morning
So he
and
thought
go
he could
through
get
his
away with
wife's
it.
underwear drawer?
So he
got
didn't
Fruit of
avoid
Loom.
this whole thing because he thinks he could get away with it.
No, because he was negotiating. He hadn't come to an
Bill,
agreement.
I don't go and go take this guy's car and bring it to my house and then say, well, hey, let's negotiate the price now.
But you see, he was in lawful possession of that, according to him.
Well, according to him,
according to his lawyers, he wasn't in legal possession of them. And they were trying to find a way to get him out of it, and he wouldn't let his lawyers even do the job they were hired to do.
They have him saying, what did he said? Why don't we just
people will say a lot of things, but I bet
Phil, you're talking out of your ass right now. You can't admit. You're like Trump. You can't admit when you're wrong.
If you're talking to your lawyer, you feel
about
that,
doing a crime, then there's no
but he wasn't doing it. To him, it wasn't.
They were talking about hiding the documents so they wouldn't have to give them back. That's the problem.
I got audited once, and I said, hey, what if there was a fire? I mean, it's a joke.
No, you can't say fire in a thing. You can get arrested for that. You can't
Phil, you didn't steal top secret documents, many of which, if you read the thing, it says not what specifically is in those documents, because they don't want to reveal that, but they say the nature of what those documents were. And the top secret ones will curl your hair, or what's left of it.
I understand that the attack plans on Iran were very old. And longer.
It doesn't say anything about
the expiration date.
Wait a minute. It doesn't say anything about attack plans on Iran in the indictment.
That's what I heard.
It doesn't say. That's what you heard. Why don't you read the damn indictment?
All right. Well, I heard that there was things on. What about the?
This is all stuff he hears. I wish really you were farting instead of this other stuff coming out of your ass.
What about the papers on who killed Kennedy?
Oh no!
Are we now changing the topic?
Oh, that could be what it is. They haven't told you what those papers are.
Well, remember Trump said it was.
No,
papers.
they said the nature of them, that it was on certain things about a foreign country, plans for our government to respond to a certain kinds of things, but it didn't exactly say what it was, because it's going to be very difficult when they do this trial, because they're going to have to convince a jury that these things really were what do you call it?
His boxes included information regarding defense weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. The unauthorized disclosure of these classified documents could put at risk national security of the United States, foreign relations, the safety of the United States military and human sources, and the sensitive intelligence collection.
If my name was Edward Snowden, where would I be right now?
Russia.
The country,
Wait, I would have left the country, or I'd be in jail right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Also contained press clippings, letters, notes, cards, photographs, official documents, and other materials in cardboard boxes that were kept at the White House. Among the materials Trump stored in the boxes were hundreds of classified documents.
Okay. Yes, John.
Yeah, that judge that's presiding over it, she's bad news too, because she already tried to throw the kibosh in the thing, on the investigation, and she got slapped down for doing that. And now it turns out she's got no experience in any kind of courts. In criminal courts, she only has like 14 days of trial experience on these low-level things, and now she's going to be presiding over one of the most important trials in the history of the country.
What's worse is not that.
She's a Trump appointee.
No, but what's really worse than that is she has no trial experience. She's only presided over 14 small trials.
Yeah.
And that's it.
14 days of trial.
14 days of trial. You're right.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
She's in way over her head.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't think you can blame Trump appointees. Look at these recent Supreme Court things on affirmative action that Gorsuch and Kavanaugh voted with the liberal.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's not till tomorrow. How do you know? It's not till tomorrow.
No. It's I understand that they had sided with the liberal side of the court.
No, that was on the
that was on the Stanford
the
University.
adoption of Indian children.
Indian children.
Yeah, not India children. Native.
You got to realize Phil only reads the headline, and usually never gets past the word "the."
You're reading the Daily Caller too much. You're reading the Daily Caller.
Yeah. Communist paper.
I mean, it's there's a lot to chew about here. Yes, I think he's allowed to have a trial, and but I read the stuff against him, and what's his name, the former governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie was saying the other day on the air, and by the way, he's fun to hear on this subject, by the way. He said that, as you know, he was an attorney general. He had 190 successful prosecutions, one of which, of course, was whose father?
Kushner.
Jared Kushner's father.
Kushner,
yeah.
Put him in jail.
Put him in jail.
Yeah.
But he was a very good attorney general. I mean, he in speaking in legalese, he said, here's something most people don't realize. What you read in that indictment is maybe 1/3 of what they've got. He said, because when I was attorney general, we only presented 1/3 of what we had, holding the other 2/3 in case we needed it. And so there's more to this than they're even put in that indictment. Yes, Tony.
And I told that to Phil. I was reading, I forgot where I was reading it. I had gone to the library to pick up some books, and I was reading something in the library, and I think I told this to Phil. I even Googled it. You're right, when Christie said that, do you know I told this to Phil? They say when they do federal charges, they make sure they have almost like a locked case. They don't want to bring this and lose it. Do you know most cases, when they go federal, 90% convictions, 8% of the time, they plead. That's why his lawyer probably wants to plead. They only get off. They only beat it like 2% of the time, they're saying. This is what I was reading.
Well, you also don't want to take the chance of losing.
Yeah.
That's
why his lawyer probably wanted to plead a case here to cut a deal.
Yeah, well,
they probably had so much stuff on him.
Yeah, Trump will never cut a deal, though, He
may be forced to if he's faced with jail time.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the worst advice that Roy Cohn ever gave him.
You said it the other day. You can't keep denying, Alex, unless they see the evidence. If this goes to trial, I wonder, you have to ask the lawyer this. If this gets to trial, is his deal off the table then, or can he cut a deal while they're in trial?
He can cut a deal at any time.
Okay.
Yeah, he can cut a deal at any time.
He can call the court right now and cut a deal.
But if he cuts a deal towards the end of the trial when things are looking really bad for him, then they can hold him up for, okay, well, you're going to spend 5 years in prison. We're not going to ask for the 100. I totaled up all the possible numbers.
How many do you get?
It's like 150 years. If they
die in jail, I got it.
Yeah.
I heard
to cut a deal. Wait a minute. For him to cut a deal, he'd have to go in court and admit that he's guilty and what he did was wrong. They'd make him do that.
Beyond his.
You know what they might do? They might go. This is what I think they'll do. They'll say, "Look, we'll cut you a deal, no jail time, but you cannot ever run for any political office ever again." That's what they did to Agnew.
That sounds good.
They may put a gag on it too, John.
I read that the jurors are going to be granted clearance to be able to see these documents.
I think that they're not going to see them that much, however. I think
they're going to be on a monitor, is what they said.
Yeah.
The jurors are going to read them on a monitor, and they're going to redact anything that's of national concern.
Yeah, but they said they were going to give them clearance.
But they said he's not a flight risk, but what if he shaves his head? We won't recognize him without the hair. He could disappear but never know who he was. Where's his hair?
He'd look better.
Is his hairstylist going in with him, Phil?
Usually in major cases, the judge will if they're not going to charge him to stay out of jail, they will usually take his passport, and they did not take his passport.
Let me ask the married men here in this crowd tonight, which would be Kevin, and would be Jeff, and it would be Brian, and would be me. If you got busted for something, and then you had to go to court, would your wife go with you?
She's in New York in the dentist.
So what it is?
Not if I just paid $130,000 to a stripper.
Oh, no, I'm saying if you got arrested and you had to go to court, would your wife come to court with you?
Yes.
How about you, Kevin?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, if I just paid off the stripper, no.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff?
Porno actress.
You're so quiet, Jeff. You're muted.
Where's Melania? Where's Melania?
She
Guaranteed he
was
would.
getting her teeth worked on.
Yeah, I told her she was in Manhattan. They sent the dentist.
I missed what Jeff said. Phil cut him off.
Was that where she was?
That's what I heard. She was at the dentist in Manhattan.
Jeff was trying to say something.
You know, you call your dentist and say, I don't think I can make it on Tuesday. I've got to be with my husband in federal court.
I'm having an affair with the dentist, Alex.
She couldn't get child care.
Yeah. Yes,
ahead,
Brian.
Jeff.
What were you going to say, Brian?
Oh, it was Jeff.
Jeff. Oh, Jeff.
Sorry, guys. If I was going to court, Pam would help me, whatever, not end up in prison.
Okay.
Well, she's a lawyer. I would hope so.
Well, that helps, but
Okay.
she's not that kind of an attorney.
She criminal or no? No.
No.
It's environment.
No, and in fact, to tell you the truth, neither is Trump's head lawyer.
He'll settle for
The
anything right
lawyer
now.
he's using right now down there is actually one of his people does his corporate law.
He's gonna go to jail. Come on.
He's going to go to jail. And,
Phil, he has no representation. He better off doing it himself.
and he can't get himself a decent criminal lawyer because nobody wants to do business with him because he's known for not paying.
Who's that Berkeley professor that is a liberal that likes that seems to support Trump on?
Oh, I know. Kardashian.
Ted Kaczynski.
No,
Ted the Unabomber.
He's dead.
Ted Kaczynski hung himself.
Yeah.
No.
Well, so they say. Like
I heard he was dead. I didn't hear that he hung himself.
Yeah, he hung himself.
He committed suicide. But it's a Berkeley professor, Dershowitz.
Alan Dershowitz, yeah.
He's not a Berkeley professor.
I thought he's just a lawyer.
He was a Harvard professor.
He's a Harvard
professor.
professor. Yeah, there's a difference between
I think he's teaching law.
UC lawyer.
Hardly liberal though.
Yeah, probably $50,000 a quarter. But yeah, he's a liberal, but he's a constant.
I'll tell you a good criminal lawyer you should get. Giuliani's available.
He can't practice law.
Oh, he can't practice law. You're right.
They revoked him on account he's stupid.
I mean, look at guys like Giuliani. Look at guys like Trump. They're the masters of their own fate. You know,
It's amazing. It's uncanny how far they fell down the rabbit hole. Really.
Yeah.
I love it that the source of the Giuliani's that says that the Biden family took $5 million from China, and they all of a sudden he died. The guy just died, so now they don't have that source anymore.
Yeah, he's probably killed by the Biden crime family.
Yeah, of course.
Got the laptop.
Yeah.
That laptop. I hear so much of the laptop. It's
Wait a minute,
Here we go again with the laptop.
We have a guest here on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
She needs to show Daddy something.
Man, she's growing up. Look how big
She
is.
really is.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Hi.
She haven't seen you for about a year.
Yeah.
You're growing.
First grade, Brian?
She wants something right now, so you guys can ask her a question and she has to answer it.
What? What did you say?
What grade are you in?
First.
No.
Get out of here. You're older than that.
Yeah, she's going into second.
That's what I thought. Oh, really?
Yeah, she's only 7.
It was wonderful. We have
It'll be 8. Yeah, 8 in a few months.
the kind of the cover, the shed, the scaffolding that they had down in the courtyard's all gone now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there are kids back out there playing.
Oh,
They hadn't
wow.
been able to play there for 2 years, 2.5
What
years.
do they do to the homeless that were there?
No, that's outside.
I know. Where?
No, that's outside. Inside in the courtyard, that was covered too.
Yeah.
But they
Oh, so
finished. They finished
they're
the
still
courtyard.
outside.
Yeah, they're still outside.
outside.
There's still
They're
another
just
2
not
months
courtyard.
out there before they get that down. But and the kids are now down there, and this one kid was going around on his bicycle, and he was saying, "Boy, tomorrow's the end of school year." And what grade are you in? I'm in kindergarten. I'm going to first grade next year. So she's just finishing first grade. You know.
Wow.
And his girlfriend said to him, and Trump's going to prison.
She has ballet.
Yeah.
She's in her ballet outfit still. Okay. Say goodnight. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Say it's great seeing you. Great seeing you all. Say it.
You know,
It's great seeing
you know what? She's getting tall.
She is tall. Brian.
I said, man.
Brian's tall.
Yeah.
Brian's sitting down, so that's not a fair.
What are you,
comparison.
like 6'3"?
Some of you seen the
Brian?
picture I posted with her friends and dancing. Yeah, she's like her head. They're the hair to her.
Wow.
Okay.
Hey, Brian.
Okay, bye. Go. Yes.
What are you, 6'3"?
6'4".
6'4".
Oh, so that's why she's probably going to be tall. You know. Yeah.
Wish I was 6'4".
Wow.
Anyway.
So this
But,
summer's
you know,
basketball
it's just I think it's a shame that all of this has to be happening. It was avoidable, and but you've got a guy who's got such an ego. I mean, he keeps referring to those as my boxes. There's one point here in the transcript where they say he's telling somebody, "Stay away from my boxes."
He was protecting them.
He does sound like a brat. Come on, you have to admit it.
No.
in the
Like
bathroom.
me and my superhero collection.
No, he was
My
referring to the
jokes.
stripper that was there.
Oh,
But
Well, the
anyway.
good thing is that Trump, for the first time in his life, is going to be held accountable.
You hope.
We hope.
Well, I think his criminal life has caught up with him. You know, and he's used to worming his way out of stuff, but this is a
Absolutely.
little more serious than the other stuff he had to worm himself out of. You know.
How does the casino go out of business, go bankrupt?
Oh,
A lot of them did
oh,
during.
can I say-
You had the hurricane, the.
Well, those are real reasons.
Yeah, those are
I
physical
gotta-
reasons.
Can I say?
Yeah.
I was listening to the other night when you mentioned a casino, and my grandmother used to get on the bus, and she used to go once a month to the Atlantic City where you get the bus ticket, and on the ticket they would give you a free lunch and like spending money.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear I'm not joking about this.
The junket.
She hated Trump, though. You know what she used to tell me, Alex? Trump his hotel never gave them free lunches, so she used to go to Caesar's. She says he was cheap, meaning like nobody would want
Well,
to go to
here's
Trump.
where he's stupid. The reason you give a free lunch is so people would come into your casino and bet all their money.
Exactly. He wouldn't even throw her a free lunch. She took me once on the.
Well, he was an idiot back then, too.
Yeah, we saw we go to Caesar's.
Yeah.
He'd throw a sandwich at these people so
All
they
right.
could.
On Drudge, there's a headline
no.
that says Trump promises free food for everyone at a restaurant,
He
then
left.
leaves without paying.
There you
No
go.
one got anything.
I knew that was going to happen.
That was
It was a Cuban place too. I
Drudge
told you.
headline.
Now we have on the other side. You've got Brian's daughter in first grade, and dear Kevin's daughter just graduated from high school.
She's going to Oregon.
Is that making you feel older
She's gonna be crying.
Today,
today?
Watch out, your beard's going to go
Congratulations.
gray or white.
Yeah.
Look, he's wearing his A's hat. Is that an A's hat?
And an A's t-shirt.
I got mine too.
the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, the Oregon Ducks and your A's T-shirt.
That's
Now,
the A's.
what is
like,
the what's the significance of the skull with the A over it?
Grateful Dead. Grateful
Oh.
Dead.
What was it? Some kind of Grateful Day, Dead Day at the Oakland A's?
Yeah, a couple years ago or whatever.
Oakland Coliseum.
Yeah, yeah. And what is that?
That's the
John.
Oakland A's mascot.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
baseball.
Yeah.
Charlie Finley.
Yeah.
Oh, that was an old logo,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, with all the junk you got, John, you should be able to buy your way out of the Tenderloin.
I like it here. I can walk to work. I got rid of my car. I don't have to worry about my car anymore.
Yeah.
I love it.
And if you didn't get rid of it, somebody would have gotten rid of it for you.
Well, what happened was I was parking it out by Fulton, down by the park, and I'd move it like once a week for the street cleaning. And then I came to it one day and somebody stole my catalytic converter.
Wow.
So I called up Toyota. I said, "Hey, how much would it cost to get a new one?" They go, "It's going to be $800, but you're going to have to wait about 6 months because they're all getting stolen."
Yeah.
So I said, "Fuck it." I sold it, got rid of it. I don't need a car. If I need to go anywhere.
Wouldn't you thought that if they had catalytic converters on cars, they would somehow put them on in this way that people couldn't get them off without special?
There's a guard you can buy, which
Yeah.
kind of works for me. Just bought one for his Toyota, and I was
Yeah.
thinking about getting one for mine. They're about $300, and it's like a plate, and it goes over the catalytic converter.
All you got to do is put a Trump for president sticker on the catalytic converter. Nobody will touch it.
No, they'll just take the whole
break
damn
all the
car.
glass.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they steal it? They have to get underneath it with a hacksaw to get the thing off.
No, they
There's
have
a cat saw called a sawzall.
Sawzall. It takes them about
Except
30
for,
seconds.
yeah, it's battery operated. It takes them
It's
2
not a
minutes.
hacksaw called a sawzall. It's a sawzall.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
They slide under the car because usually the Priuses and all those cars have a little bit of room there. They slide right in. They take 20 seconds for this one, 20 seconds for this one, and they're gone.
My
Yes,
car is
we-
really high because it's a 4-wheel drive SUV, and it would be so easy to get under there. But
Tomorrow I'll be giving Phil's address online if they
But
want.
where can they plug in the Sawzall?
Wait a minute, John. Why is it?
But they have the battery chargeable one. I have one downstairs.
I mean,
No,
I do too.
outside
great.
of that being a very expensive catalytic converter, why does
I
it take
have to
so
pay
long for them to get
$1,800.
another one?
Because
Jeff
because
was-
they're all getting stolen. They don't have any in stock.
That's right.
They're banned.
Yeah.
And guess what country they come from?
China.
It's the rare earths. that
They're
are- Jeff was trying to say something earlier.
Yeah, it was. Pam had one and it was stolen.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Andrew
bought her
was
a new
driving
one,
one.
right?
And he left it in Brooklyn outside instead of going underneath, parking.
Ooh.
Well, there are metals in there like palladium. And,
Copper, I
Yeah,
think.
whatever
Yeah.
it is, they
Platinum.
take them out easily.
Platinum.
Isn't Palladium like a place for rock
It
shows?
used to be a discotheque in
Yeah, it
San
used to be a
Francisco. around the
Palladium was
corner
a-
from this picture.
It's
In New
not
York.
called. It can't be called
It was a
Palladium.
nightclub.
It is.
it was
There is a
disco.
metal called palladium.
Is there
There is
really?
a metal called palladium though, and it's
It's an
in
element.
catalytic converters.
I think it's one of the elements, isn't it?
I think so.
Mhm.
Platinum is the most expensive thing that's in the
Well,
catalytic.
elements have big trunks.
Yes.
Da, 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 yeah, da, 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 da,
You know how to quiet a room.
Yeah, I just put on the grinding halt alarm, which you were very good at doing earlier. So don't blame me.
Hey, I was teaching you how to do it.
Everything I learned from you.
I know.
Yeah, I watched that Hannity and Gavin Newsom meet.
Very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hannity just does diarrhea of the mouth, and every time he said something stupid, in general, very vague, Newsom said, "Hey, you mentioned 6 things. Let's go through those 6 things. The economy," and he would just start rattling off the numbers, and he's very good.
People felt he really took Hannity out for lunch.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and the only thing that really bothered me was how Hannity wouldn't shut up.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't give him time to. He would say something, and then Newsom would try to answer it. And while he was trying to answer it, Hannity would start talking.
It's the Republican way. Just look at Phil.
I mean, all Hannity had to say was, "Hey, this is my show. I'll ask the questions."
Well, then
Well, you wouldn't let him
if you're Newsom, you say to him, "Well, I'm your guest, and if you're not going to listen to my answers, I'll get up and say goodbye now."
Yeah. Kiss my ass goodbye.
I'll try that on the next time you do it.
Yeah, well, but nobody will miss
Put that
you.
on the dough. You leave. It's okay. Call in early.
No, but I mean, it was Newsom when it was really holding him to his fire to the flames.
He will run in 2028.
Oh yeah, He's definitely, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I wish he'd run now. I mean, I'm 83. Okay, so I can say this and screw all of you. But quite frankly, I don't want Biden to run. I think he's too old to run.
Doesn't Newsom have a lot of baggage?
I'm going to agree.
Newsom doesn't have a lot of
baggage. He's done a
baggage.
great job, but take a break, man.
More baggage than Trump? Do you mean baggage like Trump?
Trump
I'm
has
not comparing him to Trump.
Trump
I'm
has
just
so much.
saying that Newsom has a lot of baggage.
Trump has more baggage than he should have without going on a vacation. Okay.
He's a progressive governor, and that's what people will fire up him on.
And also, he won't take crap from anybody else. I mean, if he were running today against Trump, Trump wouldn't get a word out of his mouth without being called to account for it.
Or DeSantis.
Or any of them.
Yeah.
The only guy who, of all of them, who's bright enough to go up against Trump is what's his name from New Jersey?
Chris Christie.
Chris Christie.
Oh, that was a great interview last night on the news with him. Boy, he went after Trump big time.
And the thing he did
that was a couple nights ago. CNN.
Oh, was
CNN,
it? I just heard it last night.
It was a long one. Yeah.
That was good.
Didn't Trump throw Chris Christie under the bus?
No.
Like he does everybody.
Chris Christie is the guy that trained him for the Hillary debates.
I know, but I believe that Trump threw Chris Christie under the bus when...
No, when Christie was studying... When the minute that Christie was no longer playing Trump's game and was not complimentary about him, that's when Trump started getting nasty about him. That's all Trump ever does. If he expects incredible loyalty from everybody around him. Wouldn't you agree with that, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't give loyalty to anybody else. Do you think he's picking up this NADA's legal fees? I don't think so.
Even buy them Cuban food.
In fact, I think NADA said in court that he didn't have a lawyer at the present time.
Now, NADA is an employee of Trump?
Yes.
Driver.
And he did this, or is accused of doing this while he was in Trump's employee?
Yes.
Yep.
So shouldn't Trump be responsible?
Yes, but he's not.
Well, he
has no loyalty for anybody.
But I think he's going to have to
pay his own lawyers.
And by the way, did anybody see the former Attorney General? What's his name? I get my name. Barr. His comments. He said, "I've read the indictment. If all those things can be proven, Trump is toast."
Yep.
If all of those
quote
things,
unquote.
No, he actually didn't put it that way. He said, "After what I read, I believe Trump is toast." Is what
he said toast. I love it.
Yes, but that's based on a one-sided indictment.
It isn't a one-sided indictment. It is an indictment that came as you got to remember, this is an indictment, Phil, that came as the result of endless amounts of hours of research and checking everything they could possibly check. It wasn't like they were out to get him, but they were out to, if he did something, they wanted to be able to indict
believe me,
him.
they were out to get him.
No, they weren't out to get him, Phil.
Just like the Trump dossier was hours.
Oh my God! Here we go again.
You know, they had a motion on the floor of the House to sanction Adam Schiff over reading the Trump dossier into the congressional record.
Yeah, and he didn't read. That's bullshit. He never read the dossier. They didn't even use the dossier for anything.
Yeah, they used it for the FISA warrants, and
no, they weren't.
Adam Schiff.
No, they weren't, Phil. Where do you get your information?
Well, I get the truth.
No. What you do is you hear something out of the side of your ear, and then you repeat it out of the other side of your ear.
Look,
you're getting your news from Fox, and
they said that,
and somewhere between here and here, the whole thing gets translated into gibberish.
The plugs started like.
Yeah, the dossier was the reason for the FISA warrants. That was the.
No, it wasn't.
Just stand up and ventilate.
It wasn't.
They got the FISA warrants because the dude that was the guy that worked for Trump told the ambassador of Australia that he knew that the Russians had hacked into Hillary Clinton's email way before it even came out.
I
And
guess
so they
they
said,
did.
how did this guy know about it? That's how they got the feed.
That's why she bleach pit the server and she destroyed her cell phones.
Hurry up, smash the phone.
Phil,
Phil knows this. How?
does that count
Phil
as
knows
us being
this
able to
because
have a
he
drink,
listens to the
guys? Because he
news.
did bring up Hillary Clinton.
Yes,
Everybody
that's
have a
not-
drink.
that last night we said either Hillary Clinton's
Oh, that's
emails
right.
or there's something else when he mentions we have
It's
to drink
kind of
all.
like You Bet
No,
Your
we
Life.
talked about
He
the
said the
Hunter
magic
Biden
word.
thing. You'll bring up one of the two.
Everybody,
Do you know
take a sip.
that I slept 8 hours last night? It's the first time I've had 8 hours sleep in a couple of years.
That's because you knew you were getting an injection in your weenie.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, is it really worth $7,000? That's a lot of money.
Oh, and listen, he's
Taking him to
paying
McDonald's.
somebody $7,000 to stick a needle in his penis.
Hey,
It's not every day there's somebody who's willing to pay
It's
for
John
that.
Holmes'
Two
DNA.
needles.
Usually,
Two needles.
actually, I could get it cheaper uptown for you.
I'm sure you
Okay?
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Do you want me to send you? Do you want me to send you pictures, Charlene? Maybe that'll help.
are you going to bentcarrot.com for that?
No, I don't have the bent carrot.
There is
Clint.
the bent carrot.
I don't have the.
Yeah,
That was,
That was good, John.
The Peronis.
No, but they do. Tell you the one thing. They do advertise. There's two companies, Men's Health something, and there's another company that advertise on KMBR for all that stuff. They do.
Yeah.
They do advertise on the sports talk like crazy
That's
because they
where I
never
heard-
get
that's
some
where I
sucker
heard
like
about it.
Phil.
Yeah, that's where I heard about it at first.
See?
Tony,
And then I looked for a place that was close.
Tony.
When I was going for my radiation, they were giving the older colored man, the Jamaican guy.
Colored
did it.
man?
Colored man.
Yeah, he had to go to pee on the cross island.
You should come to Harlem, and we have lots of coloreds here.
You know what he told me? They were giving him Viagra for free.
Well,
Can't you take? Doesn't that work for him, Alex? If he took it? Oh.
What?
Well, no, that he was selling the Viagra, the Jamaican guy, and taking it. But Phil, wouldn't that work for him, Alex, if he took Viagra?
After a while, as you get older, and the I guess their arteries
That's what they say on the advertisement. They say
Right.
all this stuff on the advertisement. There's blockage and the
That's how we-
How old are you now, Phil? You're what?
90.
I'm going to be 69 next week.
When I was your age, never had a problem.
Yeah, but you didn't have diabetes since you're 40.
So
He does have diabetes. He's got to be careful with that. I told him that. My
You know,
brother.
it's the diabetes that's the scourge that wrecks.
So you were talking earlier before we all came on about the plaque building up in the penis
Oh, the
because
plaque.
of the diabetes.
penis
I
plaque.
thought it was like going to the dentist, like the plaque. But no.
plaque. It's
Yeah, but
similar
what
to
you
the
do is you
kind
go
of
to the
plaque.
dentist
A
and they
different
can
type of plaque.
scrape it off. You know.
Yeah, you get these tiny vessels that carry the blood that gives you an erection, and if they're with plaque, you don't get it.
We talk about Trump.
The plaqueless
Money to
president.
burn. I love it. It's got money to burn out.
So Kevin, you look kind of tired. Was it a heavy weekend for you?
They got the cost
Wait a
on.
minute. Oh, it's
Yeah,
here.
it's fun.
It was fun,
Yeah.
but you just look like your face is like burnt.
You got a little something.
Got a little roasty.
Got a little roasted. Yeah, nothing will make you feel more tired than if you get a good sunburn. You know.
I had a pretty relaxing day today.
Do you ever? Anybody ever? Did you ever get what do you call it? Sunstroke?
I got sunburn once bad.
Yeah.
I got sunstroke in Ibiza. I was out in the sun just too long. It was the last night that Lori and I were there, and I got sunstroke, and I didn't know what it was because I thought sunstroke was, hey, you just really got a sunburn, you're really bothered by it. No, you actually get a stroke. My arm went numb.
Really?
Oh
wow.
yeah, it's like
a
a physical stroke, only it comes and then it passes. You know.
Well, they numb the member before they inject it.
Will you come on? Look who's here.
I said member.
I can't take a needle in the arm. He's taking it in the pee-pee.
Member.
Wait till she leaves the room, please.
Oh, sorry.
Use
He
the
doesn't
word
have that type of
member.
class.
It's like those jackets from the 80s, members only.
Oh, I used to have a mother Bowie one. They were puffy. I think I just threw it out, actually.
Yeah, well, I just, the whole idea of anybody sticking a needle in that part of my.
He's got guts. I couldn't do it. I can't have a hard time taking any needle.
Did it hurt, Phil?
Yeah.
There was a little sting.
He was talking to me on the phone while it happened, and he started crying.
I wasn't.
That might have been me.
There's a little pressure, a little sting. They said it's a very small needle, but it felt like it went all the way.
No, they were
through.
talking about your
Of course
penis.
it's a small
They were
needle,
talking
but
about
you-
your penis.
Just the tip. You're gonna put the tip in. Just the tip.
I can't see it, but everybody come and take a look at
Yeah.
this.
This needle must have been about 6 inches long.
Oh, yeah, that's it. 6 inches.
and the size of a telephone pole.
Why would they insert blood into your penis?
It's like he's like a vampire.
Because it's supposed to grow these arteries. When I had 100% blockage in my
Brain,
artery, I got what was called collateral arteries that grew around the blockage that gave me enough blood to keep me alive, but not enough blood to go scuba diving or anything. And so it's rare, but you get these what they call collateral arteries, and then I had to go and get multiple stent through that artery to get through the plaque, and now I have the collateral arteries and I have an open artery.
What does that have to do with the other part of you?
Well, it's the same kind of thing.
It's a lot of
No, it's not. One costs $7,000, and you're not going to see anything for your money, and the other one costs maybe $7,000, and you're still alive.
Here's
the neat thing. He's getting the weenie treatment. 15 years ago, he got a hair transplant. Boy, isn't that nice on top of his head?
Still there.
Well, I got more than you on top
Well,
of
it
yours.
looks to me
Yeah,
like
but mine didn't cost me $15,000.
And if it did, they should put the guy in jail.
Yeah.
Before we go,
Give yourself
it's happy birthday to Kevin.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh,
Oh,
Kevin,
wow.
is it your birthday today, Kevin?
Yeah.
Notices off of
Yep,
Facebook.
Yep.
Thanks, Brian.
Happy birthday
How
to
old are you
you.
now?
Happy birthday to you.
you.
Happy birthday, dear Kevin. Happy birthday to you.
Are you 60 now, Kevin?
What's that?
Are you 60 at this point?
66.
60.
Oh, I was off by one. I said 65.
And you're too old for Phil to date, so you're lucky.
Oh, yeah.
3 more years, I'll get a shot in my.
Hey, Alex. Hey, Alex.
Yes.
Live 105 is back on the air.
Yes.
Yeah, you think.
Oh, I got to
Yeah,
tell you
no,
something.
Went back to the old format.
That's
Hey,
not.
they
That's not.
mentioned your name in the Chronicle. They mentioned your name.
What did they say?
They just said they were talking about all the old people, and they mentioned Alex Bennett, Steve Masters,
Well,
Big Rick.
I'm still waiting for the call from them to do a morning show. Anyway,
that
Hey,
is great.
John.
hey, listen.
John, have you ever heard of Bobby Slayton?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Okay.
Mute him, please.
Anyway, it's
Alex
time.
says
Why would I
nobody on
not?
the show
Everybody-
ever heard of him.
Everybody knows Bobby Slade.
I'm talking
Everybody.
the general listener, Phil. Anyway, listen, they got to go. The theme is playing.
Even
But-
Trump
but-
knows Bobby
Yeah.
Slayton.
Mute him.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Phil, for being here tonight.
Taking our abuse.
At my age, I can't take this. Jeff, at your age, you can't take this, right?
No, this is too
Kevin,
much.
at your new age, you can't take this. Happy birthday to you. And Alan, thank you. Thank you for the teddy bear, too. Thank you very much tonight
Get well.
for being with us, Brian. And say hello to Adrian for us. Thank her for her little participation. Tony, good to see you here. And always good to see you here, Mr. Larkin. Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Oh, yes, there they go. Let me just get rid of them here. Jack Bishop is next. He'll be taking calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. In the meantime, I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.